Hi, everyone. Let me do a quick share and we will get started in a moment. Hi, Mary. So when y'all come into view of me, go ahead and put your name and where you're watching from. I love seeing where you're from and, your name, especially if you're new to me as well. So I do want to say that I was off last week. I actually went on vacation, took some time away, did some pre-posting so I wouldn't be on social media. And I will tell you that sometimes that is really the best thing to do is to stay off of social media if possible and just kind of enjoy yourself. So I went to Oklahoma. My husband and I went there and we visited my mom and family, and it was really nice and cool. Went for a lot of different drives, getting to know the area a little bit better. Um, so we were able to actually go and visit some other family members that weren't able to always get to us. So we wanted to make sure that we saw them before we left. So we took a little bit of a drive. And this would be the third time. Let's see. This would be the third time that we've been there in the last two years. So it's quite a nice drive there, except when you get to Dallas, and all kinds of crazy stuff happens there. So let's see who's joined us. Hi, my friends, for being here. And it was just really nice to actually step away and just go do something that kind of relaxes your minds. And my husband was able to spot out some fishing areas. So next time we go, we will be able to visit there and maybe go fishing. Of course, he'll have to get a fishing license for Oklahoma as well. So today's topic, I'm going to go ahead and try to stay on track. I tend to um, get off track sometimes, and it'll be like 5 minutes before I actually start. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Lisa Jo Davis, and I'm very happy that you're here joining us, or all of us together. It is really um, fun to see everybody show up. So the next three sessions or teaching sessions that I will be doing here on the Aligned World Network has to do with around stress and how to come back to your center. Today's topic, or I should say teaching, is when stress is all around you, returning to your inner stability. So that is today's teaching. And I'll tell you a little bit about this. Let me ask you, when life feels overwhelming, it can become very difficult to hear your own inner guidance clearly. There'll be constant stress, emotional exhaustion, uncertainty, and the energy of the world around us can quietly pull us away from from our center. In this gentle and supportive teaching today, we will explore how stress affects us emotionally, spiritually, and energetically, and how we can begin reconnecting with inner stability during challenging times. And together, we will reflect on the importance of grounding, emotional awareness, sacred pause, and returning to peace within ourselves, even when life feels very heavy. And during this live session or live teaching today, we will also open up the door to an upcoming deeper sacred journey series focused on protecting your peace, rebuilding stability, and learning how to remain open-hearted without becoming overwhelmed by the world and those around us. So go ahead and find a comfortable spot. If you just really need to readjust yourself, that's fine. But I would like you to begin by just taking a deep breath in and releasing. You are here right now with me. And those of you who are watching later, I would recommend that you also do a couple of deep breaths and exhaling so that you center yourself in today's teaching. And it's perfectly fine if you want to close your eyes. It's not a meditation, it's more of a teaching. But sometimes when we have our eyes closed, it closes off the outside world, right? So that you're only focusing or listening to what I'm saying. And my friends, you deserve to hear what I'm saying. I I can't even tell you how many times that I wish this kind of information was available to me when I was younger. But here I am, and I'm going to be sharing with you today. So there are moments in life when the world around us feel very heavy. The noise becomes louder. The pressure can increase and continue increasing. And the constant stream of uncertainty, responsibilities, emotions, and collective energy can begin to weigh deeply upon the heart, mind, and body. Does that sound familiar? It's okay to put a comment or a heart or anything in the comments below. So many people are carrying stress they never fully stop long enough to acknowledge. Some are emotionally exhausted, some feel overstimulated, and some are quietly overwhelmed while still trying to hold everything together for everyone else. Does that sound familiar? And in the middle of all of this, it becomes very easy to lose connection with ourselves. So today, I simply want to create a gentle space to pause, a gentle space to pause and to breathe, and to remember that your inner peace still matters, even when the world around you feels unsettled. What I will say is stress is more than just mental. Stress does not only affect the mind, it affects the nervous system, the emotions, the joy, the spirit. Sometimes people believe they must push through exhaustion, emotional heaviness, grief, uncertainty, or constant pressure. But the spirit was never meant to live in survival mode continuously. When stress builds for long periods of time, people begin feeling disconnected from themselves, emotionally reactive, mentally scattered, physically drained, spiritually distant, and unable to rest completely and deeply. And often they begin to blame themselves for struggling. But overwhelming feelings is not weakness. It is often a sign that something within us is asking for care, grounding, restoration, and support. So let that sit with you for a moment. The world around us affects us. As you know, we are living in a time where many people are absorbing enormous amounts of emotional energy daily. How? By news, fear, conflict, financial stress, social pressure, uncertainty about the future, emotional overload from technology and constant stimulation. And sensitive people, especially, can begin carrying emotions and energies that they were never supposed to hold alone. And over time, this creates inner imbalance. This is why learning to return to your center is becoming so important. Not to disconnect from the world, but to reconnect with yourself while moving through it. I hope that makes sense to you. Returning to center. Returning to center does not mean your life suddenly becomes perfect. It means creating small, sacred moments where your body, heart, and spirit feel safe enough to breathe again. And sometimes returning to your center looks like sitting in silence, stepping away from constant noise pollution is what I call it, placing your hand over your heart, going outside, praying, grounding, and resting without guilt while allowing yourself to feel without judgment. Listen to this statement I'm about to say because it's very important. Peace is not something we wait for the world to give us. I'm going to repeat that again and think about this statement for a moment. Peace is not something we wait for the world to give us. Why? It is something we slowly begin rebuilding within ourselves. And often healing begins the moment we stop demanding perfection from ourselves during difficult seasons. I'm going to repeat that part. Often healing begins the moment we stop demanding perfection from ourselves during difficult seasons. And over these next few teachings, I want to continue exploring this journey together. Not only how stress affects us spiritually, emotionally and energetically, but also how we begin protecting our peace, reconnecting with stability, and learning how to remain open hearted without becoming overwhelmed by the world around us. Because healing is not only about surviving difficult times, healing is not only about surviving difficult times. It is also about learning how to hold center while moving through them. And this conversation is opening into a deeper sacred journey series, exploring how we care for ourselves spiritually, emotionally, and energetically during overwhelming times. But before we go, I want to say thank you for sharing this space with me. And may you gently remember that even in overwhelming times, peace can still be rebuilt within. So I am interested with a couple of questions that you can put in the comments. Is how do you handle stress? Or do you feel like you're attacked by stress daily? How do you cope with it? How does it make you feel? And also, what do you do when you have these stressful times? Do you shut down? Do you close off? Stick your head in the ground? You plug up your ears? I don't want to listen. I don't want to engage. There's many different ways that we all put ourselves uh, through and how we handle stress. So I would be interested in knowing how this affects you as well. And let's see if there's any comments here that I can respond to. Let me go ahead and check the other spaces. And if you know anyone that would benefit from watching this particular teaching, go ahead and share it out with them. I would appreciate that as well. And I'm not really seeing anything yet. So what I will do is go ahead and close off now. Oh, okay. So someone says, when stressed, I go walk barefooted in the grass, which is a grounding method. For those of you that may not understand, take a bath and with bath salts. So that's just taking time out for yourself, which is an excellent way to kind of soothe yourself and pay attention to your body because your body is completely overwhelmed. So that does make sense for me. Another person says, I handle stress within myself. I try not to let it get to me. But the thing is, when you hold the stress within yourself, sometimes you can cause yourself more heartache because it builds up and it builds up, and then either you explode on somebody or your body reacts emotionally or you start to shut down. So I would encourage you to also do what another person here said about grounding. And grounding can come in many forms. It can come in a state of walking on grass, working with plants. You can actually be inside an apartment or your home if you're not able to go outside, and just imagine roots growing out of the bottom of your feet into the earth. Another one that is my favorite thing to do is leaning up against a tree. Trees have such an amazing healing that a lot of people don't overlook, right? For one thing, it takes the stress away from you. I don't know how it does it, but it does. It gives you that support. I had a tree. where we used to live at, and I would lean it on the tree, and the tree was kind of slanted until I was upset until I found the purpose of that tree. And so I would lean on the tree back a little bit, and I actually, allowed myself to release these emotions and the stressful times into the tree. And trees are very healing and really connected to the earth as well as other trees and plants. Their roots are like telegrams, right? So they connect with each other and they talk to each other as well. That's kind of why you might feel really relieved or less stressful when you go take a walk in the forest or the woods, whatever is around your place. And some of them, another person commented that they do breath work. And that is also a good remedy for allowing yourself to de-stress. Tapping is another thing. I don't teach tapping, but there is a lot of good information out there. And I don't know enough about it to advise anyone from how to do it. So I do know that it's a method that a lot of people use. So you kind of have to look around to see what might work for you. Um, oh, so another person says they also let stress go by crocheting and keeping the hands busy, I would presume. And they agree a tree is a really good place to also de-stress. Um, Also meditation, writing in a journal. Sometimes instead of keeping it inside, and let's say you're not comfortable with any of the things that have been suggested, writing it all down. It just gets it out of your mind, gets it out of your heart, and it allows you to also review what it is that um, you are having your concerns and stress about. So then later you can go back and look at that and go, oh, I remember what I did. And, this is what I did. So it's also journaling is a good thing to do because it allows you to go back and reflect to times when you had problems or issues or just a little stressed out. And it just gets it out of your mind and out of your body. It doesn't totally make it all go away, right? So I don't want to mislead you there, but it also is a form of healing when you write in a journal. So having said all of this, let me see if there's any more comments here. And I do appreciate everybody sharing their experiences with me as well. And I think it's time. I've lost I've lost myself. So let me check one last place. Okay, so I think we've answered all the questions. So you guys go enjoy the rest of this Saturday. I know we might get more rain. We've got a lot of rain over the last few days, but it was much needed here. It's just the excessive flooding in the lower areas, and those are really hard for people to deal with as well. I do appreciate you being here with me and taking the time, and I really hope and I invite you over the next 2 Saturdays to join me for this teaching. This is teaching 1, and then I'll have teaching 2 and teaching 3, which all kind of piggyback off of each other. So thank you for being here, and I appreciate everything that you guys are doing and by supporting me by just showing up. So I love you, and you take care of yourself, okay? Bye.